Welcome to the show, Mr. Matomola Likwanya.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you so much.
Right, so today we have very important discussions to have, and I really wanted to focus on a few things. Do you believe, as a UPND member, that PF is still ruling and controlling Zambia?
Well, the answer is very simple. Whenever there is a change of government, the previous regime, the people that served in that government, in most instances, they are reshuffled, they are changed, they are replaced with a new system, because the new government that comes in with a new president, the president comes in with new ministers, different MPs, and that is expected even in parastatals, in director positions, in different positions. So when the PF took over power, they did the same. They came up with their own machinery. Michael certified district commissioners, directors of ZESCO and different institutions. The ambassadors were recalled. Now that we have formed government as UPND, it is not new. It is something that even happened in the previous times. The situation is different from what President Hakainde Hichilema has done. He has tried to set a precedence that he can read a government with some of the elements that were in the previous government. The UPND government is not entirely consisting of UPND, because in our manifesto we've not put a clause in our constitution that says that for you to hold a position in the government as a director, you must be a PF or a UPND member. The PF did that. They had a constitution that stipulated that if you are to be a director or a senior person in the parastatal in government, you must be a PF card carrying member. The UPND government doesn't have such a clause in its constitution. So what that means is that there are some people who have been left like that because these people, they feel that they delivered. However, speaking not for the party, but speaking as an individual, I want to agree with you that there are some elements in this government that were in the PF government, and these are people that, number one, contributed to the torture, the brutality of innocent civilians at the time that we were in the oppositions. One of those is the police. I was arrested for 27 days, denied police bond, denied food, denied access to my lawyers and my family. The people that arrested me are still there. The people that said we'll never give you police bond, that break the law with impunity, they are still there serving as senior principal officers, senior principal CIO officers. The people that contributed to firing live ammunitions and bullets and tear gas on innocent citizens for merely exercising their democratic rights, these senior police officers are still in power. Our appeal to the president and the UPND government has always been that such people must be fired, must be repressed. The answer is to some extent the PF elements that oppressed even President Hakainde Hichilema himself are there, and they are frustrating his efforts. Talk about the prisons. President Hakainde Hichilema went in there for treason case, a crime that he did not do. There were some officers that were instructed to put him in cells that were inhuman. They locked him up in what was called solitary confinement, where he's the only one there. And these people, they had the capacity to be used to inflict pain on him. These are people, even in this government, they can still be used to commit crimes. That is why we are saying that for you to read a country very well, you need to have your own people sitting in critical positions because they have your back. Here is the narrative. For over 20 years, there are people that were watching President Hakainde Hichilema's back. He never paid them salaries. He never gave them allowances. And these people were there watching his back. So now that we are in power, they cannot betray. But we have got another person B, who at the time that President Hakainde Hichilema was aspiring to be president. They never saw a vision in him. Rather, they sided with an enemy to accuse him of treason. They wanted him to be locked up in prison for the rest of his life for a treasonable charge. These are people that were treacherous, betrayers, Judas Iscariots. These are the people we are saying must be fired. They must be shown the exit door because they were not loyal. Rather, the new people that hold the agenda, that believe in the manifesto and the visions of President Hakainde Hichilema must come in. So elements of the PF, comrade, are there, they are alive and well. And that is the reason why, to a larger extent, people of this country seem not to be seeing some certain changes in certain areas, like the Zambia police, like the council. You go to UTH today, the same doctors and nurses that were smuggling drugs and taken to private pharmaceuticals. And when you go in a private pharmaceutical, you see drugs with a government seal. Those are there. Why don't we fire them? President Hakainde Hichilema, your people, us, we are here. We are saying, fire those people without reserve.
Mr. Likwanya, there has been a lot of talks about cooperatives, and a lot of people are very, very expectant of such ventures. Can you really break us, or rather, can you break down how cooperatives function, and if the current system is feasible for the expectations of many Zambian youths?
Well, thank you so much. The first thing that I want to say is that a lot of youths in this country have been misinformed about cooperatives. In a nutshell, in a simple language, tikamba kuti ma cooperatives, pakakuzanga kuti mpange cooperative, mubwera pamozi kabungu kabantu, mukabwera pamozi, muzafuna kuti muchite business imozi, mubwere pamozi, muchite chintu chimozi, ndiye cooperative. Cooperative muchizungu nikugwirizana pamozi. So the idea there is that when you form this cooperative, you are not forming it for the purposes of getting money from government. Tentimverane. Many youths have been misinformed, and Zambian citizens, to think that kupanga cooperative is equals to receiving money from government. That is not the position. The position of a cooperative is tibwere pamozi, tifake ndrama zatu pamozi, na ma ideas yatu pamozi, tipange business itichosele ndrama, tipange malonda, tipange vintu, tuvagirizana pamozi. The challenge which is there is that a lot of people think that when you register a cooperative, it is equals to receiving money from government. I don't want a lot of people to be disappointed next month or the other month when government will be giving out CDF. Because there are millions and thousands of cooperatives that have been registered which don't understand that it is not about government giving them money, but it is about shares. So a cooperative operates in a way that mukabwera pamozi, mugula ma shares, aja ma shares mukamba kuti muchinyanja, mukamba kuti since tabwera pamozi tizambo sonkezana zingati kuti yambe business yatu yamene tifuna. So ngati mwamverana kuti muzambo kuchita contributor kufaka pamozi 100 kwacha chira muntu, zita ndrama zikabwera pamozi ndiye pamene mungene some business. The idea is like a chirimba arrangement where you contribute money together, but it's not about one person getting paid. The opposite is that mukapanga ndrama pamozi zija muzingenesa mu business, mukazingenesa mu business ndiye pamene mwambotenga ma profit. The idea of government comes in second from the idea that government will say, wow, look at these people that have started keeping chickens. What do we do to them? Let's help them buy more chickens. Trust me, government will not support. I repeat, government will not support those people that have formed cooperatives and they are doing nothing. Government will support cooperatives that are viable. And that is the reason why, comrade, when you are registered in a cooperative, you have to sign up or sign in an application form. Now, the form for cooperatives, page 2, has got what is called a share capital document. Kuri form ya number 2 called share capital document, where you are supposed to indicate the exact amount of money each member of your cooperative will be contributing. Meaning government recognizes that at the time that you are registered in your cooperative, you must have already started contributing money. Okay, and that is called buying shares. So vambiri tiri na problem chifukwa chakuti tiyangana kuti government itiste support. Now there is one reality that we must speak, and that reality is it is impossible for government to fund everyone. Because take for instance, comrade Z Corner, when you have got 50,000 kwacha, okay, and you give it to 500,000 cooperatives, that is a lot of money, and it is more than the Zambian budget. So government cannot fund everybody. In one constituency like Kabata constituency, there are over 100 cooperatives. Right. And a lot of them are their budget is 200 pin, 500 pin, 1 million. It is not possible. So the idea is, let us borrow from the Chirekwa formula. There's a group led by Chirekwa Mambwe. Came together, they were buying shares, we were at 200, we were at 300, 400. Eventually they managed to buy chickens, and they have got over 50,000 beds. So cooperative, in a nutshell, is not about government funding you. It is about you buying shares among yourselves. And it is also about, okay, it is about saving. It is about a common purpose. That is what I can say.
Mr. Likwanya, as Lusaka District UPND IPS, are you satisfied with the new Dawn appointments?
Very much. We are very much satisfied by the appointment. However, you cannot be appointed as a minister and stop answering phone calls. You cannot be appointed as permanent secretaries and stop picking up phone calls from the people. You cannot be appointed as a minister or any position and start indulging yourselves in deals with the former regime. You cannot be appointed, and I repeat, you cannot be appointed to serve the people of this country, and all you do is to drink coffee and tea, and always whenever people want to reach your office, you say, I'm busy, can I call you? You always want to tell people to form cooperatives that you cannot explain how those cooperatives are operating. Even yourself, you don't understand how those cooperatives are moving. So every time when they ask you, Honorable Minister, we want to call you, and you tell them, no, before you talk to me, can you form cooperatives? People of this country are not going to eat cooperatives. Explain to them what those cooperatives are. You cannot be an honorable minister appointed, or you cannot be a permanent secretary, a DC, or a director, or any person appointed by the president, and all you do, it is to serve the interests of your family. It is to serve the interests of those that are close to you, not to look at many lives that were almost lost. Okay, families that have lost their beloved ones in the wake of political violence. You cannot look at those people. You want to look at your girlfriends. The only time that you pick up phone calls is when your girlfriends, they call, and when important people call you, you don't answer. This we are not going to allow. If there is such a one, Mr. President, we are ready to differ on principle. These appointments are not appointments which are coming like a bed of roses. This is not embroidery. This is not Mozart. This is not art. This is governance, and it deals with the hearts of people. We voted for change, not because of anything, but because the people that were in the previous government, we believed they were corrupt. We believed they stole a lot of money. We believed they were mismanaging this country. And we find you, taking coffee, okay, clinching deals, being embroiled in the same corruption that we fought against. If this is what some of you will start doing, very soon we will differ. We need sanity in this country. We need sanity in this country. And I want to tell some of the ministers some of the MPs, some of the district commissioners, some of the people that have been appointed who are in attendance of tolerating criminals, who are in attendance of not listening to the people when they speak. The reason why PF was removed out of power, it is because they did not listen to the people when they spoke. Listen to the people. The reason why we are there in the party is not to decampaign the party, but we are there to speak when we see things. We are there to advise. And I want to seriously tell you, those who have been appointed, you are not in these positions for any other thing, but you are in this position to save the people of this country. Don't be too pompous. The PF, they felt they were very pompous. They were moving in tinted vehicles. They were not picking up phone calls for the people. Okay? The only people that they invited for dinners were girlfriends. These people, they went abroad to shop. Okay? They failed to take care of innocent poor Zambians who were in UTH with the surgeries, different tumors. But they managed to take their girlfriends to Santon, to many different sumptuous places. I want to appeal to my fellow UPND appointed candidates. Be the change that you want to see. President Hakainde Hichilema is a good man. But all the good men before the face of this country ended up coming out of power. There is no single great man on the surface of the earth that lasted in power forever. Let us continue to be reminded that one day UPND will come out of power. What will be the legacy that we are going to leave? I want to say that these appointments that President Hakainde Hichilema has made, they are very progressive and very good appointments. But however, run away from the temptation of corruption. Run away from the temptation of embracing criminals. Run away from the temptation of luxurious life, living out, taking care of the people. Run away from the temptation of avoiding the people that put you there. I think that is what we need to do in this country.
Let us also talk about youth expectations, and I really want to categorize and divide citizens/youths into two categories. Number one, those affiliated to the UPND party and regular Zambian citizens/youths. Do you think a lot of their expectations have been met?
Thank you so much. I first of all want to say that I appreciate the fact that you have categorized the two youths, and I want to say that youths that were not and are not affiliated to the party sacrificed their vote. They went out there to line up 0502. Some slept on the polling station to vote for the UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema, and I wish to really salute those. The second category of youths, which is also an integral and very important category of youths, these are youths that not only did they vote, but they also sacrificed their lives. They sacrificed blood and a vote to vote for UPND. They put their lives at risk. They ran away from their homes. They were tortured, beaten, humiliated. They lost their properties for the sake of UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema to be in power. These youths and their expectations have been made, and our earnest view of this issue is that much more needs to be done to fulfill their aspirations. To say that President Hakainde Hichilema has disappointed them will be too early, but we can say that their disappointment has not yet come because their appointment is still in process. I repeat that. Their disappointment has not yet come because their appointment is still being made. It is still in the process. Many youths are still in the pipeline of receiving jobs. Many youths are still in the promissory note of being empowered. We have seen that no one has yet received money from the CDF, Citizen Economic Empowerment Fund, different forms of funds such as Presidential Empowerment Fund, and a number of funds. So it is too early for us to judge the performance of the UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema where the taking care of the youths are concerned, because none of these youths have been properly funded. They are still waiting. So President Hakainde Hichilema's government is headed in the right direction. However, I want to say that there must not be any iota or any slight, smell of corruption in the appointment or in the deployment or in the giving of job opportunities to youths. We hope that this process will be transparent. We hope that youths from two different sides will be taken care of. Youths who support UPND must not be victimized or discriminated against because they belong to UPND, and they must not be supported. Youths that voted for UPND who are in numbers must also be a little bit patient, because when the UPND was campaigning, they never said they were going to build Zambia in 90 days. They never said they were going to provide jobs in 48 hours. They said they were going to provide jobs. And we are in the process of providing jobs. And I can assure you that President Hakainde Hichilema, he is committed to doing that. Where youth participation in politics is concerned, we have seen a lot of councillors, 100%, and I want to repeat, 100% of councillors that we have in Lusaka are youths. 90% of the councillors we have in Zambia under the UPND ticket are youths. We've got new parliamentarians who are youthful. Youth participation in this country has been broadened. At least, there's one thing I wish to commend President Hakainde Hichilema for. Under his government, youths are not fighting. Youths are not removing pangas and guns like we saw in the PF government. Under the UPND government, youths are orderly. They are not fighting in stations and extorting money from bus stations. Under the UPND government, youths are educated because there is free education. No one has an excuse on why they never went to school in Zambia now, because from grade 1 to grade 12, you are going for free. That will eradicate juvenile delinquency, drug abuse. That will make educated cadres on the street. That will enable a child right now who does not have access to clean drinking water to have it, because when you have got an educated society, you have youths that will have skills, that will bring food on the table and manage to bring clean drinking water, promote literacy, and to fight poverty and corruption.